Hi, my name is Tiffany Jeltes and this is my individual presentation for Assignment 1 for EDU70004, Teaching the Growing Child.
Who are two of the key cognitive development theorists and what are their main contributions to the field of cognitive development?
When thinking about cognitive developmental theorists, the first name that really comes to mind is Jean Piaget. He took Freud's ideas of the various stages in development and took them to the next level. He was fascinated with the difference between the way adults thought and the way children thought. He believed that there are 4 different stages in cognitive development that a child must go through before they can reach full maturity. These stages are the sensory motor stage from birth to 2 years, the pre-operational stage from 2 to 7, the concrete operational stage from 7 to 11, and the formal operation stage from 11 onwards. Each stage interlocks with the previous one, and trying to push the child to the next level before they had reached full understanding would be futile. Within each stage, 4 main factors contribute to cognitive growth, from preconceived ideas to the assimilation or fitting new ideas into the old, to accommodation and adaptation, where a new pattern of thought is formed. Reaching equilibrium at the end will enable the individual to move to the next level. Another developmental theorist that comes to mind is Lev Vygotsky, who believes his social development theory of social interaction and a strong sense of community are vitally important in cognitive development. He viewed that children's thinking was affected by social knowledge imparted by others, communicated by actions and language. Elementary functions were attention, sensation, perception, and memory linked to the present level of development, then on to the potential level of development. He referred to this gap between the present level and the potential level as the zone of proximal development. It was through the idea of scaffolding, where the level of assistance given is gradually reduced, that children reach their potential level.
Who are two of the key moral development theorists and what are their main contributions to the field of moral development?
When I think of moral development theorists, there are 2 names that come to mind. The first is Lawrence Kohlberg. His theories were based around the ideas that children learn what is right and wrong based on their interactions with others. As they get older, they move through 3 different levels. He calls these levels pre-conventional, where the child will assess the situation based on fear of punishment or how it affects them personally. The second level he called conventional, occurring usually around early adolescence. The child will start to take into account the feelings of others and society as a whole. The final level is post-conventional. At this level, the individual has developed their own code of conduct and will base their decisions on that. Elliot Turio is another moral development theorist. He believed that rather than moral development occurring in a progressive manner, like Kohlberg did, that rather the 3 aspects, moral, social, and psychological, ran parallel to each other. He believed that children learned through their experiences, and what was considered moral was based on the concept of harm, welfare, and fairness. He believed it was important to base teaching around what children can relate to seize the moment, as it were, to help teach them right from wrong.
Why do you think it's important for teachers to have an understanding of cognitive and moral development and apply it in their teaching practice?
Understanding cognitive and moral development is important, as teachers need to plan their lessons accordingly. Learning activities can be planned to best suit the stage that the child is at. No 2 students will be at the same level at the same time, but having an understanding of cognitive development can assist the teacher in making sure that the learning needs for each student is considered and planned for. Understanding moral development can help teachers in things like class discussions, where they can discuss moral concerns and assist the child in working things out for themselves.
Can you please provide an example of the application of cognitive development in the classroom? In your example, please specify the grade to which your example applies.
For a lesson that shows the application of cognitive development in the classroom, I would, with a Year 1 class, introduce the topic, for example, the sea, and with the class, brainstorm on a whiteboard or smartboard everything the class knew about the sea. Then, using shapes of fish or other symbols like bubbles, shells or rocks in a topic web on the board, ask the class if we can sort this information into categories, for example, fish, plants, etc. As a follow-up lesson, I would break the class into groups and ask that they generate some questions related to the sea that they wanted to research. These questions could then be added to the topic web.
Can you please provide an example of the application of moral development in the classroom? In your example, please specify the grade to which your example applies.
For a lesson that shows the application of moral development in the classroom, I would use Year 6-7 students in a comparative text lesson as part of literacy or cultural literacy. Breaking the class into small groups, I would give one half various short Aesop's fables and the other half Aboriginal perspective Dreamtime stories, and ask that they read, discuss within their groups the messages within the stories, the morals and life lessons. Then I would ask that the groups come together to compare those messages and relate them to our everyday life.